It's easy to focus on everyone else's problems. It's so easy to scroll on social media and watch other people have issues, other people make bad choices, and other people struggle to make a change for themselves. And in the short term, that's comfortable, because as long as your attention is directed towards everyone else, you do not have to confront the things in your own life that need work. But eventually, you have to look at yourself. You have to acknowledge your habits, you have to acknowledge your weaknesses, and you have to acknowledge your goals you keep avoiding. The decisions that you have placed every single day up until this point have made you who you are. Focusing on yourself can make life feel harder at first, but that difficulty is often the beginning of becoming a better person. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Labbe. I'm a bodybuilder, and I'm just trying to help everyone go through life one step at a time. And I'm sure you guys can tell from the intro to this video that this topic is about something that is really close to me. It's something that I've been very passionate about for a long time, and I believe that it is the cure to so many of our struggles in society today. And that topic is you need to focus on yourself. So many people, like I mentioned earlier, focus on other people's problems. It's so easy to go on social media and focus on other people's problems. In fact, it probably makes us feel better in the short term. I'm guilty of it. I've probably done it in the past, and I probably still do it without noticing. But the biggest issue that is stopping us from becoming better people is staying stuck on other people's problems. It's caring what other people think. It's caring about what other people are doing with their lives, when in reality, our own lives are the ones that need to be fixed. If anything I said up until this point in this video resonates with you, you feel like you want to become a better person, you feel like you need to focus on your own issues, you feel like you have goals that if you just focused on yourself and made progress on them, it would make your life 1,000 times better, then I want you to stick around, because in this video, I'm going to break down 4 topics that if you just hold in your brain while you go through this transformation that will change your life, it will make it so much easier and it will help keep you on track. The first one is how other people can be a distraction. Now, we live in a society where pretty much everything is going to be considered a distraction. It is so easy to become distracted. I'm guilty of this. I have probably spent days at a time where I'm just not super motivated. I get distracted by little things and I put too much importance on those little things, and it stops me from actually becoming a better person. It stops me from reaching further towards my goals. And so that's where this concept of distractions come in. People are distractions. Now, you're gonna say, oh, well, I like hanging out with my friends, I like doing this. And that is all great. You can hang out with your friends, you can go and have a social night, whatever. But in the end of the day, you have to understand that in the concept of becoming a better person and achieving goals, for the most part, people are distractions. Now, I'm not saying you can't go hang out with your friends, but you have to understand that if your goal is to become the best writer in the world, if you are spending hours, or every single day you're spending hours hanging out with your friends instead of trying to become a better writer, in the end of the day, that social event that you are choosing to go to is a distraction. Now, a lot of distractions are very hard to tell that they actually are distractions. Like I just mentioned, you wouldn't think hanging out with your friends is considered a distraction. And I'm not telling you to stop doing that. I'm just trying to show you that distractions are such an easy way to get sucked down into a hole of never making progress on your goals. And you constantly just have this thought in your mind that I'm not working on my goals, I should be working on my goals. Why am I being distracted, or what's even happening? And then you're gonna wake up 2 years down the line and realize that you made no progress, and you're gonna have no idea why. There are a lot of distractions that are hidden, and becoming aware of those distractions and understanding that pretty much everything that is not progressing you towards your goals, not progressing you towards becoming a better person, should be considered a distraction in your mind. Another thing I want to make you guys aware of is that focusing on yourself and focusing on your own problems does make life harder. It makes life harder in the short term, almost certainly, because if you are focusing on your own problems and pretty much most of your attention is focused on what things you need to fix, how you need to fix them in order to reach your goals, then a lot of your mental health, a lot of your mental capacity is going to be spent on these somewhat negative things. Like I said, they are your problems, and if you focus on them super intently, then your life is going to become harder in the short term because you feel burdened almost by all these problems that you've kind of been pushing off and you need to fix them. And that is completely normal. I want you guys to know that it will make life harder in the short term, but the biggest thing is not giving up. Don't distract yourself, like I mentioned earlier, just because when you focus on yourself and you focus on your own problems, it feels unbearable. In the end of the day, if you can focus on your own problems and actually start chipping away at them, start making progress towards one of those problems becoming less intense, then slowly that burden gets relieved off your shoulders and you wake up a year down the line or 2 years down the line or 5 years down the line, and all these problems that you had 5 years ago are not even close to the same problems that you have today. In fact, you probably would think that those problems are nothing and you are so happy that you conquered those problems. I mean, for my example, 5 years ago, I was extremely overweight. I never worked out. I was not someone that you could say is in good physical health. I was 17 years old and it honestly was ruining my life, and I just was distracting myself with so many other things that I didn't even realize it. And now, once I started working out, in the moment, it made it so much harder because I became so aware of my weight problem. I became so aware of my eating problem. And once I became aware of those problems, life did get harder. It was really hard to be so aware of the problem, but feel like I still had the problem. However, once I stuck to it, I kept chipping away at the problem. I kept working on the same things. I kept going to the gym. I kept dieting. And then I looked at that same problem a year later when I was in probably some of the best shape of my life. It was a huge turning point in my life. There were so many aspects of my life that got better because I made that decision. But the person that was a year into working out, looking at the same problems as when I started, they are completely different, and it made my life so much better by just chipping away at my own problems, even though it felt like it was impossible at the beginning. Another key point to remember is take responsibility for your actions. Now, I don't know the exact demographic of who watches my video, but if you are watching this video, whether you are a guy, a girl, anything like that, take responsibility for your actions. Now, kind of related to the earlier point of just focusing on your own problems can make life harder. Taking responsibility for your past actions can make your life difficult. It can feel like you've ruined your life. But I want you all to remember that the only person that exists is the person that you are today. So taking responsibility for your actions is basically telling yourself that you take responsibility for the poor situation that you are in currently. By taking that responsibility for past actions and becoming the person in the present that is so aware of those decisions, it allows you to make better decisions in the future. If you kind of always push the responsibility onto someone else or something else, like say you want to work out and you've been wanting to work out for a year now, and you push that responsibility onto being busy, or you push that responsibility onto, oh, the gym closes at a certain time, then you are never going to feel like you failed. You are never going to feel like it was your fault that you ended up overweight, or you'll feel like it wasn't your fault that you lost that relationship because you just weren't putting enough effort into it. If you keep pushing responsibility onto other things, you're never gonna become that present individual that is able to change their life and turn it around and start focusing on making better decisions. Taking that responsibility is the best way to, like I said, turn around and start making better decisions. When I took responsibility for eating horrible when I was a child, for not being physically active enough, for honestly just not putting enough effort into caring about my body, that was me taking responsibility for it. And by taking that responsibility and not blaming anyone else for the situation I was in, I made an immense amount of progress and I changed my life. The same goes for pretty much everything in my life up until this point. I took responsibility for being lazy for a week, and that's why I didn't get XYZ done. It happens to the best of us, but if you can continuously take responsibility for your negative actions, then you are going to see so much progress, because being that aware, present individual who can realize that your goals are not going to happen if you keep making these bad decisions, then it makes it that much easier to turn around and start making better decisions. Now, the fourth and final thing I want you all to remember, and this is a little more overarching, is that life is uncomfortable. It is so easy for us to seek comfort in little things, sleeping in because that's comfortable. Eating the quick fast food that tastes good, that's comfortable. It's so easy to seek these little comfortable things in order to make you feel like life is comfortable. But in reality, the overarching theme of life is it is uncomfortable. Life is not always going to be amazing. Life will throw curveballs at you, and these problems will come up if you choose those comfortable things. By choosing all the comfortable things in the world, you might temporarily, in the short term, feel like your life is really comfortable, it's really easy, it's amazing. And then a year down the line, 5 years down the line, you're gonna look back at all those decisions that you are now taking responsibility for, and you are gonna realize that even though you were comfortable for 6 months or a year, you basically set yourself back 5 years because you just kept choosing comfort in a world that is uncomfortable. And I know it's hard to not choose comfort. I mean, pretty much everything that companies make nowadays, everything that is around you at all times in some way, shape, or form is for comfort. And I'm not saying get rid of the basic comforts like clothes that you like or a bed that's comfortable. Like, you can have those temporary comforts, but it's overdoing it and overusing that comfort aspect. Like being uncomfortable and going to the gym, it is so much easier to be comfortable, sit at home and watch TV. By choosing those little short-term comforts that just waste time, you are going to be way more uncomfortable in the future. So I want you all to remember that life is not easy. Life is not comfortable. Choose to be uncomfortable. Be okay with being uncomfortable sometimes. Because if you can develop that mindset where you understand that life is not meant to be comfortable, then you start changing your mindset towards those comfortable things. You start thinking, okay, if life is not meant to be comfortable, you start feeling a little more guilty towards sitting on the couch and watching TV, and you start wanting to progress towards your goals a little more. You are okay with being in that uncomfortable state. Maybe you go to the gym and you start losing weight because you realize that if life is meant to be uncomfortable, then I should be doing the uncomfortable things. And then you look at yourself a year down the line, and all those uncomfortable things that you did made your life more comfortable. That is the overarching theme of this video. Focus on yourself. Stop being distracted by other people's problems. Focus on your own problems and realize that life is not meant to be comfortable. Life is a long string of uncomfortable events that if you play your cards right, you can make your life more comfortable by doing short-term discomforts. And yet, the script can be flipped. If you are doing comfortable things in the short term, you will become uncomfortable in the long term. So that is what I want to end off this video for. I want you guys to realize that short-term discomforts leads to long-term comforts. If you can remember that one thing, that 1 second of video clip, then your life will change. Start focusing on your own problems, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you gained anything from this video or you enjoyed, feel free to tune in for future videos, hit that like button and subscribe. I also am always reading the comments, so feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any topics that you would like to ask me or any topics you would like to make a video on. I'd be more than happy to. And just remember, I'm building a community here where people feel like they can become better people. I am constantly trying to improve myself. I'm constantly trying to become a better person. And I know that I'm young and I know that I have so much of life to live in front of me. And that's why I want to build this community of people that are just trying to become better. That's my goal in life, and I think that should be other people's goal as well. And so if you feel like that is you in some way, shape, or form, join along for future videos, because we're all living for the first time. So just remember that. Keep grinding, keep working hard towards your goals every single day, and make people remember your name. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one.